gotta get a handle on it. You Google, you blog, you tweet, 'cause you're hooked on it. Boss ain't ready. How you gonna help him see? Social media, it's hip, it's even addicting. It's hot, it's cool, it delivers top-notch search placement. I kinda like it. Social media's the bomb. There goes my phone again. Without my followers, I want 1 million, like Ashton Kutcher.
Social media maven here on the set to tell us all about it. Remind us of the story. It's about Trayvon Martin.
Yeah, so quick update on the story. Trayvon Martin was an African-American teenager. He was 17 years old. He was walking back to a gated community in Sanford, Florida, when he was unarmed. He just went to the convenience store to buy a pack of Skittles, and he was shot by a neighborhood watch captain. The neighborhood watch captain hasn't been charged. Civil rights leaders and legal activists have said that there are racial issues involved. It's caused all sorts of tension. And the Justice Department and the FBI earlier this week have said that they're looking into this
And
case.
there is a nuance to this, is that there is a law in Florida that allows you to defend your homestead, basically.
Right, exactly. And so there's this controversial law in Florida, and this is really shining the spotlight on that issue as well. But one of the most interesting things about this is the teenager was killed on February 26th, and it's taken until now for this issue to really kind of be part of the national discussion, the national spotlight. And a lot of people are saying that this outrage on social media, where the chatter is just happening so dramatically, is really fueling a lot of that focus and attention on the issue.
And so how long has this discussion been going on Twitter and other social media?
Yeah.
When did that really
So I was kind of trying to figure out the timeline of this last night, and what happened was he was shot on February 26th, and then a couple of weeks later, on March 8th, his family posted a petition to change.org saying that they were demanding justice in this case and just trying to tell his story and trying to get more attention and spotlight on the issue. And so what happened from there is people really started to share the story. A lot of the tweets, about 20% of the tweets on Trayvon Martin have been associated with this petition and trying to get people to sign the petition. Last night there were more than 800,000 comments on that.
And apparently it's been mentioned on Twitter more than 596,000 times since February 26th.
Yeah, so nearly
That's a lot.
Yeah, it has been a lot. Somebody created a Facebook page in the next couple of days that has more than 30,000 people who've said that they've liked it. And the other thing that's really interesting is some celebrities have gotten involved, which always kind of fuels the fire, like what we saw with the Coney debacle a couple of weeks ago. So Spike Lee has been tweeting about this like crazy, so is Deepak Chopra, and Russell Simmons also has been kind of putting a lot of spotlight. So one thing that was really interesting is last night in Union Square in New York, there was a Million Hoodie March. It was held in memory of Trayvon Martin. And a lot of people on Facebook and Instagram and Twitter who weren't at the march were taking pictures of themselves wearing a hoodie, which is what he was wearing the night that he was shot. So,
interesting stuff. And
yeah.
more on that on WSJ.com.
Yep.
Thank you very much.
Thank
Emily
you.
Steele.
On the Edge, Robert Wilder is one of the most social media news types we know. But can people trust social media for news?
Depends on the source of the news. I know I was following it very closely. I had CNN app, and I was following Boston Police on Twitter. Yeah. But I thought those were pretty good sources of news. But Facebook, that kind of stuff, just hearing it from word of mouth from friends, not so much.
No. I mean, you can't really trust it. It's not credible.
Yeah.
And I think that with all the news media out there, don't get your news from social media. You know, I think it's too prone to our own bias and interpretation, which the news media is too.
Twitter, especially, I follow the Boston Police Department and the Boston Globe to keep up on the bombings that were going on. And a lot of times when something hits Facebook, it's a lot of times it's a practical joke. Like Adam Sandler's died 5 or 6 times now. Okay. So past couple years snowboarding. So you gotta take everything in social media with a grain of salt.
Well, I'll be honest. I haven't paid attention to social media when it comes to news. I usually wait till I hear it from someone and it's a fact. And if I
somebody credible.
Yeah, somebody credible, and then I'll still go check it just to make sure, because you can't really believe anything nowadays. That's how I feel about social media. You can't really believe anything nowadays unless you know it's a fact for sure. Unless you see if people are crying and the person is okay. Somebody passed away. I need to see banners and people crying. I need to see everyone talking about it.
I would still revert to reliable sources first. For those that only rely on social media for news,
what's wrong with them?
I kind of question their judgment anyway. But I'm the kind of person until I see it for myself, I'm not going to just go with the first thing that I hear.
Again, the question of the night.
I'm associate professor in the School of Information Studies at Syracuse University, and I direct our joint center called COTELCO, our collaboration laboratory, where we study the social and technical aspects of geographically distributed collaboration. So in terms of the role of social media in the recent revolutions in the Middle East and North Africa, I really saw it as a way of framing alternative narratives. In many instances, state-owned television would say that there were a small number of protesters, or everything was peaceful. But this alternative, social media was able to point to alternative narratives of large, massive numbers of activists. There's one classic example on Al Jazeera where the state television was showing one end of the bridge crossing the Nile. It was completely empty and peaceful and so forth. And state television was reporting that there was nothing going on. But the alternative media and Al Jazeera were showing the other end of the bridge where the protesters had all gathered to push a van over the side of the bridge. And so without this alternative way to get the story out, the state-owned television could have framed this as, peaceful and a small number of protesters and so forth.
To Beyonce and Jay-Z. Jay-Z released a rap today. I know the other day you said that Treasury was the one that cleared their trip. He suggested that he got White House clearance and that he personally spoke with the president. I'll just quote. I turned Havana into Atlanta. Boy from the hood, I got White House clearance. Obama said, quote, chill, you're gonna get me impeached. You don't need this expletive anyway, chill with me on the beach.
I guess nothing rhymes with Treasury. Because Treasury offers and gives licenses for travel, as you know, and the White House has nothing to do with it.
So are you saying that the president did not have a conversation with
I'm absolutely saying that the White House, from the president on down, had nothing to do with anybody's travel to Cuba. That is something that Treasury handles. Low fat, Treasury, these are tough words to rhyme. It's a song, Donovan. The president is not going to do with Jay-Z.
I've got 99 problems and now Jay-Z's one.
I'm still keeping my seats. Y'all buy that bullshit, y'all better keep y'all receipts. Obama said chill, you gon' get me impeached. You don't need this shit anyway, chill with me on the beach.
Y'all gonna learn today. Y'all gonna learn today.